All right, happy Sunday morning. It's your host of whatever this is, John, playing Immaculate Grid. Still trying for low rarity score. Maybe one day we'll work some other stuff in. Had a fun game yesterday. No teams, no teams. That was pretty fun. So, we'll get right into it. Um, I'll start sharing here. Let's see, what was it? 3,000 hits, 40 home runs, uh 30-30. They hit a whole bunch of things yesterday, so that was it's a fun game. I think my best score was I had a 14 when I played live yesterday, or live-ish. I upload it right after I do it, but and then I played on my phone. I got 11, but I had Palmero for the 500, what was it, 3,000 hits and 40 home run category, and that was about 8%, compared to 4% for Carl Yastrzemski. So I think if you combine my best, I was around 7, but obviously that's not how this game is played. So we're back to teams. We have teams. I see logos. I see teams. We have the Cleveland Indians slash Guardians slash Naps, the New York Baseball Yankees, the Miami Marlins, the Los Angeles Angels slash California Angels slash Anaheim Angels, and the Oakland Athletics, or Kansas City Athletics, or Philadelphia Athletics. All of these things work. Um, so I guess let's just start piecing this one together. Let's see here. Man, so Silver Slugger for the Marlins. I think that's gonna be a grid buster because there's probably only been half a dozen or so. Miguel Cabrera, I think, will work. Hanley Ramirez will certainly work. Well, even he was contemporaries with Rollins and Tulowitzki, so I'm not even 100% sure on that, but he won a batting title in '09, so I think he'd work there. I think Sheffield will work for his '96 season. It was a monster campaign, and that might be my best bet. Giancarlo Stanton will certainly work. Um, maybe. No, there's no any catchers are going to work. Not with Mike Piazza existing. Oh, maybe Real Muto. Real Muto would not surprise me. I'm trying to think if there's any pitchers who won Silver Sluggers for the Marlins. Maybe Dontrell Willis. Dontrell Willis was really good in 2005. I'm not going to play that first. That's going to be my Gallo pick. I'm gonna build the suspense. I'll try to get the rest, and then I think I might go with Willis there. Um, because I know he was hitting seventh in the Marlins lineup. It was the same year he was winning 20 games when he pitched. It wasn't like Ohtani, but yeah, still pretty cool. Anyway, let's see here. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go old standby here, Kevin Mitchell. He played for both teams barely. He goes way less than 1%. Let's see, Yankees and A's. There's a fair number of options here. Jason Giambi is a pretty prominent one. Bartolo Colon will work. Um, Ricky Henderson, very famously with both teams. Roger Maris played for both teams. Played with the Kansas City A's. He also would have worked here. Maris would have worked here. So would Rocky Colavito. That might have been an interesting way to go. Oh, well, this is a pretty good score. Catfish Hunter is another very prominent, very famous one. Kenny Rogers played with both teams. He played a year in Oakland. See how many people remember Roger Maris. This is more of an intellectual curiosity. I think Rogers might actually be a better pick, but he goes less than 1%. Okay. So I've got 3 MVPs total so far. Let's see here. So Yankees and Marlins. Al Leiter will work. Kevin Brown will work. Ooh, Mike Lowell will work. He was he played like 2 weeks or something with that 98 team, with the Yankees. Um, so he was barely on it and then achieved prominence with the Marlins. 3%. A lot more people remembered that than I would have thought. That's all right. Let's see. Cleveland, Miami. I think Jerry Brown is a good one there. He works for the Rangers as well. Takes 0.5%. Um, Chuck Finley, I think, came over to Cleveland, somewhere in there. Um, let's see over here. Again, Bartolo Colon would work. I guess Bartolo Colon works for all of these, doesn't he? Probably doesn't work over here. His home run was majestic though at Petco Park. Um, what do you say about Chili Davis? Takes 1%. It's a classic California Angels logo there. All right. So Cleveland, Anaheim. Yeah, I mentioned Cologne. I mentioned Finley. Both pretty prominent pitchers. Mm, and there's going around the horn on those incredible late 90s teams. You know who'll work is Eddie Murray. Let's try that. Played a little bit at the beginning of the 97 season with the Angels. Takes 2%. All right. So pretty good. A lot of MVP votes in here. Three MVPs, and Lowell, I think, was a top 10 winner of the year. The Marlins won the World Series, top five, I think, the year the Red Sox, the '07 season. And then Eddie Murray was top five like 5 years in a row. So now we go to Silver Sluggers. Um, and let's see. So we need to think 80s and beyond. Um, man, I remember I feel like I have botched Silver Sluggers before. I botched one. I said Terry Pendleton was a Silver Slugger a couple weeks ago on the show, and he wasn't. Um, it turned out he was one of only a couple MVPs to have never won one. Um, and as an example of someone who would not work is Miguel Tejada, because Miguel Tejada won a Silver Slugger. He would work for MVP, which that's not even a category, but he would not work here because he won that Silver Slugger with Baltimore after A-Rod had moved to third base. That's a key timing element that you might miss. But Tejada never won a Silver Slugger with Oakland because when he was with Oakland, A-Rod was still a shortstop with the Rangers and previously with the Mariners. Um, so Tejada does win Silver Sluggers once A-Rod moves, but that's in Baltimore. Um, McGuire will obviously work. Giambi will work. Um, I let's see. 80s, Henderson will certainly work. Canseco will certainly work. Um, don't think Chavez will. I don't have a good feeling on Chavez. Terry Steinbeck would be an interesting pick. He had a great year in '96 with 35 home runs, but it's the same time as Pudge Rodriguez. I don't like that. I don't like that risk. I think Olson might work. Donaldson, maybe? Current Milwaukee Brewer, Josh Donaldson. I just haven't done any Brewers yet. All right. Well, I mean, Giambi's such a boring safe pick, but I know he'll work, and I know McGuire will work. I think is there anyone right in the middle where it's not taking a Hail Mary, but I feel pretty good about, and I'm getting just the two sides of the spectrum is people I know, which are Henderson, Canseco, McGuire, Giambi. People I'm not as sure about: Chapman, Olson, Simeon. Actually, I feel pretty good about Simeon, but that was pretty recent. Uh, the aughts he had. Actually, he didn't have a lot of silver sluggers in the aughts, I don't think. Maybe Eric Chavez. I don't think Frank Thomas won that one year. He was in Oakland. But there were a lot of good DHs that year. All right. I am gonna go with Canseco. Because I know he's splitting a few ways. Ooh, that was bad. Oh, oh, I want that one back. Oh well. Oh well. All right. Angel Silver Slugger. So I think I think this came up previously, but Rod Crew never won a Silver Slugger with Anaheim. The timing just didn't quite work out. He was there in the early 80s when the Silver Slugger came around, but Cecil Cooper and Eddie Murray were winning those Silver Sluggers, so he's not going to work. I'm going to take some coffee while I ponder this one. Let's see. Dramatic effect. You know this is a low budget production because I just take my coffee in the middle of the thing. Um, Vlad Guerrero will of course work. I think Tim Salmon will work. That's probably a pretty safe one. Trout, obviously, and Ohtani, both very safe. I don't think there's any way Pujols got there. Not sure about Shone Figgins. He had a pretty big year in '09, but I'd have to. I'm not sure he was winning that. I mean, part of his value is with the legs, right? So I don't know about him. Um, Bobby Grich, maybe. I'll say this, it very much surprised me if Grich didn't win the Silver Slugger at second base in 1981 because I know he tied for the AL lead in home runs. I think he had like 22 in the strike shortened year, and that was good to tie for the league lead. It very much surprised me if he didn't win at second base that year. I don't know that he won at second base. He was a contemporary with Frank White and Willie Randolph and Lou Whitaker, fantastic second baseman. Just seems like that would be the year for him. So I'm gonna dial him in. We'll see if that works. Gets 1%. All right. Well, I already kind of botched the grid with Canseco. But rather than take the safe nine, I think Sheffield would be the safe 9 for 9 or Hanley Ramirez. I'm gonna go Dontrell Willis. I specifically remember him being a really good hitter that '05 season. Let's see how that. And he also won 22 games. Like he was majestic. He didn't win it. He didn't win it. I'm not gonna do all these. That's just it. But that's a lot more than I would have thought. I had Real Muto and Sheffield and Hanley Ramirez, Cabrera. Sure, how we get to Stanton. Yeah, I don't know how we get to 11 there. I also don't know how to. I'm not going to navigate through this. There's only been 5 Silver Sluggers in Oakland A's history. That's phenomenal. I did not think I don't feel as bad about the 19% now. I mean, maybe I could have been a little bit better, but I listed I think most of them. I'll go back and look at these. That's fascinating. This is only 5. The Marlins have had twice as many Silver Sluggers as the A's. Interesting. All right. Well, actually, I'm gonna do this just so I can see '05. Jason Marquis. How were you as a hitter, Jason Marquis? Oh, pretty good. He hit 310 with a 460 slugging percentage and 10 RBI. How good with Dontrell Willis? Am I just making this up? Let's see if I'm just making this up. We're in garbage time now. Thanks for playing, by the way, but nope. Nope. I was way exaggerating in my head how good a hitter he was that year. I mean, he was, still pretty good for a pitcher, but all right. Learned a thing. I had exaggerated Dontrelle Willis's prowess during his 2005 season. He was, of course, a great pitcher that year. He won 22 games, arguably should have been the Cy Young. But no, I think I'll double check this, but I think he did hit like seventh a couple times in the Marlins lineup. But maybe that says more about the Marlins at the time. Anyway, thanks a lot for playing. Sorry this dragged on a little bit as I tried to rationalize going with a terrible pick. I'm gonna look at these Silver Sluggers. It's amazing to me that the Oakland A's have only had five and the Marlins have had 11. So, learned something, got humbled. Have a great rest of your weekend, and I'll be back at it tomorrow, probably tomorrow night. So thanks, peace, and happy Sunday.